Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talk with Coach. I'm your host, Becca Goldsberry, elite and executive sales and leadership coach with Southwestern Consulting. This podcast is all about learning from the best in the business, those who have walked the walk and are ready to share their journeys, lessons, and hard earned wisdom. We're about to discover some invaluable tips that can transform your business or leadership journey. So, buckle up and get ready for another episode of Talk with Coach. I am excited. I always am because I always have such amazing people on my podcast and people I love dearly. I mean, people I respect and admire. But the person with us today, Amanda Cox, I have had the privilege to get to know her just recently this year over the last 6 months. And we're going to have some fun in this conversation. So I'm excited to dive in, but I want to introduce her. So she is a leadership development trainer and keynote speakers with a master's degree in leadership development. She owns and operates the Know Better Company, where she supports businesses with their employees' leadership development education. She has trained hundreds of individuals through leadership development training and coaching sessions. She is also the co-founder of a local women's networking group, Lead Hership, where she encourages women to shamelessly ask for what they need. She believes everyone is capable of being a leader as long as they want to be one, which is crucial. What I love about Amanda, you guys, is her ability to set aside the mindset of scarcity, her ability to connect with others, and her fun personality. Plus, she is a fellow Indianapolis Colts fan, as her and I share the love of football and the Colts together. We have had multiple events together that have gone beautifully, where we've collaborated together. Even though we do the same thing, we still collaborate with one another because we know that together we can serve others even more so than we can apart in certain instances. So she is also known for saying feedback is my favorite F word. You guys, she is so funny. We're going to have so much fun today. And she embraces and welcomes feedback as a tool to improve. And all good leaders, we know feedback is invaluable. So I'm excited to have her on today. And thank you to our good friend, Brittany Percival, who actually introduced us a few months ago. So, Amanda, my
Yes.
friend,
Yes.
welcome to Talk with
Thank
Coach.
you for having me. You threw out the invitation and I was like, absolutely, we're doing it.
Absolutely, 100%. And you guys, Amanda has given me one of my favorite T-shirts of all time. It's a T-shirt of Carly Gordon Ursay and says "Boss Lady" on it, and it's now like a collector's item. This T-shirt. Um, so I get so I get so much feedback and love every time I wear this shirt. So thank you, my friend, for the most awesome T-shirt ever.
Yes. So funny. So the shirt designer had so much success that the Colts reached out to him with a cease and desist. So we are so lucky we have like a special edition of something. So I feel really grateful and I snagged you one. And now, yeah, people can ask us for one, but they can't have one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I guess I want to start off the networking group that you started, the Lead Hership networking group, which I am also a part of. And I love everybody in that networking group to death. How did that come about? How did you decide I'm starting a networking group? Because I know there are so many people out there who want to do the same thing, especially other women, other leaders, other thinkers who want to support each other, but they maybe just don't know how to do it. How'd you go about
Yeah.
this?
So I think it really did start from the need of, or maybe the want of being able to shamelessly ask people for what I needed. And I definitely feel that there are a ton of groups out there for, men and women and like different sectors and different niches. But actually, Columbus was missing a female focused networking group. So I definitely felt like there was a vacuum that I could fill. So that's kind of where I went with the women focused. And then the second part, like I mentioned, is where is a space that you can shamelessly ask for what you need and no one's going to keep you on red or turn their nose up or ignore you or make you feel bad about asking. And that is just the culture I wanted to generate. And so that's really where I started with it. I didn't know the how or the process. So I partnered with 2 women that would get us there. I'm definitely like a big thinker and the process is not my skill set. But Emily and
Yeah,
Heather absolutely helped me make that dream come alive. And now I mean, testament to you also, year and a half in, and I do believe we've created an environment where people can shamelessly ask for what they need and not feel icky about sales or talking about money or talking about products or anything like that. And I think that that's just so necessary because even if you work in a corporate job, you are selling something. You are a salesman, right? You're selling your trade, your time. And so I find it really hard sometimes when I talk to people and friends who aren't in business, they kind of get like this like ick. And I'm like, yeah, but once upon a time you sold yourself to the company. And there, again, I just don't think there should be any ick for anybody. And so I just wanted to create a space where people could shamelessly ask for what they need, whether that be help with their resume, finding a new job, clientele, whatever it is
right.
in that environment. So that's where it came from.
No, I love that. And I think what I love about the group the most is the support we all give each
Yeah.
other. Yeah, and it's unconditional.
Yeah.
So I know I've done a couple workshops for free, like as a way to kind of help them with stuff that they've asked, like they wanted help on. I know you've done the same thing. And so we're like, okay, what do you need help in? How can we help you grow business? I
Right.
mean, that's to me, that's what a true networking group is. I know there's so many worldwide, and I'm not shaming any, but like I think when people feel pressure to give
Yeah.
referrals, I think that's where the it come from.
Totally.
Because sometimes those referrals aren't genuine or really good, strong referrals. They're just giving them to meet a quota
Mm,
sometimes, I
mm,
think. Because I know I was in that cycle, uh, at one point too when I was in a networking group in the past. So I
yeah.
just love our group. I think it's genuine, and I hope everybody that's listening has a support group, a networking group, a mastermind, something that can help feed what you want out of your business too.
Well,
I think you hit another point, Amanda, I would love your thoughts on, and you're right. I don't care what industry you're in, you sell something. It may not be a physical, tangible product that you can hold, but it's probably a service, it might be customer service even, because even people who are in customer service industries, or like just even on the customer service end of things, when you pick up a phone call and you're talking to somebody and helping them, with a problem, that is still selling a service. You're
absolutely.
still selling them to stay a client.
Absolutely.
So I don't know, maybe I would love your feedback on why people feel sales is just so icky,
Yeah.
because we all do it. I mean, I have to sell Thad on doing his homework and his spelling words every. Like, I have to sell Michael on making sure we get things done at the house when we've got to like, we're all selling something. And selling is just like helping someone make a decision.
Yeah.
That's all it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Or meeting a need, right? I totally agree with that.
That's right.
Totally agree. Why do I think it's icky? Because I think that most people aren't entrepreneurs, like in that mindset, right? Because I think that like that
Mhm.
corporate side, but again, like not to get um, like what's it called? Like back in like the feudal ages, everybody was an entrepreneur, right? You had your skill, and that's the thing you did to feed your family.
Yep.
Now fast forward hundreds of years, right? Like most people have a job. I would say like 80% of people have a job and then 20% of people like own a business or something like you and I do, where that is a component. I could be so off with those numbers. So if you have better numbers, send us a message. But I
That's
think
right.
that because like we live in such a capitalist society when we're constantly trying like being separated from our dollar, I think that when you put like a face to it, we're fine with McDonald's selling us a cheeseburger. We're fine with Bank of America selling us the next best credit card. We're fine with Amazon selling us a pair of pants. But like for some reason, when our friend asks us for a referral, it feels odd. I think it truly boils down to the fear of the no. for other people, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, I don't want someone to say no, right? But that's
Mhm.
why, as salespeople, we need to be so clear about what we do, how we do it, and the pain points we solve so that that other person doesn't have to stress about telling our story, right? So I kind of answered your question, but overall, I think it's because we've just gotten out of the thought process of like selling something and like letting someone else do it, is why I think it's there. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was gonna say that word fear, I think is a big component
Yeah,
to it. And that fear of no, I have coached over the last 14 years so many people being afraid of that word no. And it's because they're afraid of
sure,
rejection, that people would think they're too pushy, too salesy, too
sure.
cheesy, too gimmicky, whatever words you want to
Transactional.
put around.
Yeah,
Transactional, it's not relationship.
right.
I think that's where a lot of that ickiness, as people would say, comes from. However, there's a couple things that we always say, like at Southwestern. One, you've got to be, servant. We call it servant
Yeah,
selling. So it's how do I help you? How do I serve you? What can I do for you? Kind of mentality instead of, all right, I need your business to be able to pay my mortgage next month. Because people can always see that commission breath
yeah,
that some salespeople have. I mean, let's be real.
sure.
It is commission
Yeah,
breath. So if you can come from it, and I think this is where that mindset piece, you and I always talk about mindset all the
yep,
time to each other. But like mindset, you have that's why we were. I know that's why we were, you know,
yep,
created as a company, Southwestern, was because we wanted to take those principles and ideas from our parent
right,
company and help salespeople
right.
worldwide, you know,
Yeah.
show how salespeople can really be servant sellers.
And I want to even go a little bit deeper than that and connect it to like being a woman because I do feel like there's almost like a difference in like a man who sells and a woman who sells. Does that make sense to you? And I don't really know how to describe it other than I know there's a difference.
There is a mindset
Yeah.
shift. I think that, oh, so I have a client, Lynn, and I love Lynn.
Hmm.
Her and I have been 210 coaching calls, so almost
Wow.
like 10 years, something like that.
Wow.
She's in the financial planning industry.
Amazing.
She was a financial advisor as a
Mm.
woman in Minnesota in the
I knew you were going to say that. Oh my God.
so Lynn and I talk about this all the
Yeah.
time because there was a mindset that financial planners back in the day needed to be men.
Sure.
And Lynn created this amazing business because a lot of the wives felt very comfortable
Talking to
in
her.
talking with
Wait,
her.
was she allowed to open a credit card when she was financially advising?
That's a great question. I'll ask her that next week on our next coaching call. I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah.
But I know that over the years, and it's not just until recently, probably in the last 20 years, where there's been a shift
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
culturally wise, client wise, even as leadership in those
Hmm.
companies have changed, some of the mindset
Yeah.
because some of the women are just as great as the
Yeah. I would also, I mean, and this is totally, there's no science to back this in my head or numbers or data. I just trust a female business owner so much because I know how much more she had to put in to get there. Right. And like when you're buying a service from a woman, you are literally buying probably like her, like passion, her baby. Right. And so there's just a
good point.
difference in delivery. Um, yeah. So. I love
I can
men.
see
I
that.
love all men. This is not knocking it at
That's
all.
right.
It's just a different delivery and service, if that makes sense.
No, and especially, I guess it depends in which industries too, because there are some industries where guys are still much better than us women,
Sure.
and vice versa,
Sure.
right? So it goes both
Yeah.
ways, but I can see, but you're right. Some of the women, depending on what services you're using their business from, there is that empathetic,
Right.
there's that
Right.
empathy, there's more
There it
communication,
is.
I think it's that
I think
communication
so too.
piece because women have typically they've got that mothering nurture sometimes about them
Right.
where they'll communicate and they've got that empathy and they're really good listeners on the most for the most part.
Yeah.
Not always, but for the most
Yeah.
part.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what I couldn't put my finger on. So thank you.
Hey, sometimes you and I always just kind of feed back and forth off each other, girl, let me tell you.
I was like, I have a thought. Can
So,
you finish it?
yeah, or I'll say, Amanda, what am I thinking about? Oh yeah, it's this. We do it all the time. I love that. Okay, I want to go back because a couple weeks ago, you and I did a networking event and we talked about the mindsets of scarcity versus abundance.
Hmm.
And I'm sure you have too, but everybody that I have talked to since then, they have either texted or if I've seen them in person, they're like, everything you guys said, I have thought about over and over again since that networking, since that conversation,
Yeah.
since you and Amanda talked about it. Have
And
you got the same thing?
yes, I've gotten like, touch points and then like a few deeper ones for sure. Um, I'm thinking like Allie from Aspire was like really, really excited about it. So yeah, I've gotten some really good feedback. And again, I think us teaming up together was really profound for people. We were walking the walk.
We were walking the walk. So for those of you guys who weren't there, and that's almost everybody in the world except about 35 women, we literally had a conversation during a networking event where Amanda and I shared ideas and thoughts around the mindsets of scarcity and abundance. And her and I talked about, we gave examples. In Indianapolis, and somebody actually Googled it, I thought it was around 8,000, but I guess if you look at the donut counties around Indianapolis, Indiana, there's over 24,000 realtors. I think that Google told
Hmm.
us. You guys, there is not that many houses for sale at Indianapolis, like this on the same day. There's just not. So, how do sales professionals and leaders not have this mindset of scarcity, but like a mindset of, okay, there's enough to go around. I just have to go do the work and go do the business and not just let it come to me.
Right.
And so Amanda and I talked about that, and that's kind of, you know, what the gist. But we had some really great takeaways from that day. What were some of the things that you took away, Amanda?
Yeah. So I would say, the takeaway that I thought was really cool is like, so I shared that like still, I wouldn't say I struggle with the scarcity. I still look at other coaches and I think, wow, she's doing or he's doing so much great stuff. And I think there's like a spectrum, right? And so that might be somewhere closer to like abundance, right? Than if over here scarcity. But I even have to pause and check myself and not have the comparison of like, she got that job over me or that opportunity over me or whatever, right? And so I think sharing that was one of my bigger takeaways because, like, it's scary to say, "Oh, I also struggle," like, as a coach, right? Because if you're a coach and listening, you understand that you kinda get put on a pedestal of, like, she's got it all figured out and she's got it all, you know, and it's just not true, right? I'm a human being with feelings too, and I've definitely looked at other
That's
people
right.
and compared myself. And so I think for me, sharing that was important and a big takeaway that it's like, I need to also say the thing that like I'm feeling too to like help people normalize it and not just talk about it, you know? What about you?
Yeah, I would totally 100% agree. And it is funny. I don't know why people think if you are a coach, they think you got it all together.
Yeah.
Y'all, we are still humans. So sometimes if you would look at, Thad and I as we're getting ready in the mornings, we don't have it all together some mornings, it's okay. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have our crazy points in life. I think for me, and where I've gotten a lot of feedback from some of like the realtors that were there and some of the
Mm-hmm.
mortgage people that were there and those who did insurance, some of the things I think they really took away too, um, is what's the benefits of abundance thinking?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has really thought about what are those benefits, right? And it creates new opportunities. It helps build you resilience. It explains your influence because others will want to celebrate with you, but they want to be around good people with good mindset
Right.
too. It also boosts creativity. and it inspires trust. And then it also helps creates ripple effects within your community too. Nobody ever thinks about all those different benefits
Right.
from abundance thinking.
Right. I
We
also
always
just
talk
think
about what,
about
you know,
processes in a business that I
mm,
truly had no idea about. It's like I knew I needed like a billing system and a camera, right? But website and all this other stuff that goes into being a really professional coach that I truly didn't know what to do. And Google truly doesn't have the right answer. But asking somebody who coaches people that understands what it looks like and what it sounds like and what it feels like in your coaching process and someone buying a product from you, those types of questions can literally save thousands of dollars and hours. And honestly, it might be the difference between you staying in your business or not, right? If you have all of these big
yeah,
hurdles and you can't get over them, but it takes you 6 months to get over them, you might not have 6 months financially, but maybe you have a few weeks to ask questions and get up and running. And you're that much
mhm,
faster because you leaned in to somebody who might be your competition.
absolutely. No, and I think what I appreciate about our relationship too is you're like, hey, how do you guys do
Hmm.
this? Right. And I'm like, okay, this is what I know that works, and this is what I know that does not
Yeah.
work. Go see what works for you.
Hmm.
Because it's gonna be different for everybody,
Yeah.
you know? And the same thing, because 'cause I'll ask you like, "Hey, I'm struggling with this, you know, what have you
Hmm.
seen look like? What's working? What's not
Sure.
working?" And so, I think you've got to have those mentors or people in your industry that you can go to and bounce ideas off
Right.
of and not have that scarcity
Right.
mentality,
And also not to waste time. Sometimes our significant others love us so much, but they don't get it. And that's okay. They don't have to get everything, you know? So I just think about, yeah,
right?
having more people in your pocket is so important. I think about your tool or your something you do is who else, who else, who else. And I love that so much. And like I know that sounds so crazy that I never thought of that before, but
Right?
it has truly stuck with me and resonating with me, and now it's in an email that I put to people, and it really has helped. And again, just having our relationship has allowed me to, like I don't feel weird using that from you. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm,
No.
sneaky. Oh, I hope Becca doesn't see me using who else, you know?
No, well, it's why we train people on asking
Right.
like, "Hey, if you really wanna grow your business and you want more referrals,
Yeah.
there 2 simple words, everybody. Here's your referral technique of the day, everybody. Just ask everybody,
Who
"Who
else?
else?" That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to
Yeah.
know. And most of the time we don't get referrals and we don't grow business because we don't freaking
We don't
ask.
ask. Yeah.
We don't ask.
I've been saying,
Or we ask the
"Don't ask, don't get" quite frequently.
the bingo. That's it. So I ask everybody, like,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
and it's funny because people like, "You even ask your family?"
Yeah.
Yeah, in the very beginning,
Yeah.
always. And then my siblings always knows, they better be sharing, people that I need to be connecting with. If not, they're gonna get it once you Rachel and Luke.
That's funny.
So,
Yeah.
that's right, that's right.
Yeah, you just have
So, but
no
anyway,
idea who's in which rooms listening, for you.
never,
So that's pretty cool.
never.
The other
Yeah.
thing I do wanna talk about, though, is we're not ever advocating for women to support someone else so much that they forget about themselves. Because I do feel like the pendulum can swing real swiftly back in the other direction, right, without,
Mhm.
boundaries. I had a woman reach out to me this morning and she's like, "I'd really love to pick your brain, but please don't. I hope you don't take this as I'm stealing your coaching time." I was like, "No, I don't feel that way at all." And I was like, "How about my call for 30 minutes?" Right. Now, if she did that every 2 weeks, and maybe I'd be like, "Meh, maybe not." Right. But I
Right.
feel comfortable giving that time. If I was in a
Mhm.
scarcity mindset and business wasn't good, I wouldn't feel good about giving 30 minutes. And I have to be knowing that about myself. And so,
Yep.
I think our boundaries are allowed to change and evolve and morph and go up and down and all those things. But I just want to be
Mhm.
clear that we're not asking you to pour more into other people. We're asking you to just literally consider like you and the other person like simultaneously and see what that feels like.
That's such a good point. Self-care.
Yeah.
It comes down to self-care. I've had a lot of conversations with my coaching clients,
Yeah.
men and
Yeah.
women, about self-care. Like, what are you doing? And of course, I always have to like, all right, let me see your schedule.
Yeah.
Where's your weekly schedule at? Like, one, I want to see it, and make sure we're allotting time for date nights with your spouse or
Oh.
partners, right? Are we allowing date nights with the kids?
Mhm.
Are we, you know, if you like massages, are we getting massages, chiropractor
Mhm.
appointments, hanging out with friends. This weekend I have friends Thanksgiving with,
Fun.
you know, Cindy and Jenny and Allie and the girls, and we're having a friends Thanksgiving, and Michael's watching Thad because he knows it's nice to have
Yeah.
time where we can not be mom
Yep.
for a little
Yep.
bit, wife, not cleaning house, not doing chores,
Yep.
not laundry, none of those things, and just go have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Guys, I think it's important for guys to be able to go and have a guy's day,
Oh
go
yeah.
golfing, do your thing, shooting, whatever the case may be. We don't take enough time, I think,
Right.
to decompress.
Right. Right. I totally agree with that.
Mhm.
And when I have a client who is, I can feel in their throat, I always say, okay, so what are we doing in the next few days that and they're like, I haven't even thought about that. Great. Let's use this time to navigate that. Right. And that's what we're going to do today. That's all we're going to do. I had a client join yesterday and she's like, my sleep is so bad. And then this. I was like, no, no, no. We're not talking about this. We're talking about the sleep. I
Mm.
said, because you're building your life on a rocky foundation and it's all going to crumble. So we're not doing that. Um, Beyond the self-care you mentioned, the self-care that I've been advocating for, and back to like the boundaries thing, is when someone sends you a calendar invite, check for an objective for the meeting. Do not accept calendar invites that don't have outcomes or objectives or like the point. And all you have
Yep.
to do is reply back and say, hey, I just want to be prepared for this meeting. What are you hoping to get out of our time together? And
Mhm.
I really do think that that allows us to not just like fill up our days with like these meetings that like really don't pertain to us. And then once you
Yeah.
get that email back with the information, then you pause still. You still don't just like accept automatically and you say, okay, like, am I going to actually contribute to this conversation? Or is this
Yep.
something that I don't need to be a part of? And you need to remove your ego and be like, okay, not everything needs me all the time. And I really do think that if we can kick that habit of just hitting yes every single time that comes through our inbox by 2026, we will see a significant amount of time back on our calendars. So that's my self care tip of the day.
Yep. I love that. I tell people it's okay to say
Of
no.
course.
We don't always have to say yes. I know yesterday, the Junior League of Indianapolis, the application process is open now
Mm,
for those who want to be leaders for the upcoming year.
awesome.
And I had 3 people text me, "Hey, are you going to apply for leadership again?" Because I think this is my 3rd or 4th year in a row that I've been in some sort of leadership capacity. I said, "No,
Okay. Right.
I've been in. It's time
Amazing.
for somebody else to be in some kind of leadership, not next year. You gotta set boundaries, people, and
Right.
people aren't setting boundaries. Set your boundaries. Even with
Right.
clients, set your boundaries. I think you were
Yeah.
gonna say something.
Oh, yeah, set your boundary, but again, like, back to who's in charge of your boundary, and you're saying the right language, I just wanna highlight it because I feel like boundary can be so misconstrued, and it's like, "They
Mhm.
didn't respect my boundary," should never come out of your mouth because it ain't about they, it's about you, right? And so, it always using I statements when talking about your boundaries, "I let them in. I didn't hold my boundary," is correct.
Yeah. Yes. Do you have a good boundary story?
Sure, oh my gosh. Um, okay, I'll just say from like a new coach to now, like around schedule. Like when you're a new coach, you like want to put clients everywhere, 5 a.m. and 6 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays. And what I realized is that when I was showing up to the 5 a.m. or the 8 p.m., whatever, because I work with clients all over the world, I was angry, right? Like I wasn't showing up being like, I'm so excited to coach you. I was like, I hate you, right? Because if it's not a heck yeah, it's a heck
Yeah,
no.
right.
And so I am super with like time boundaries, I am super strict about them. I only work like in the mornings on Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I do not work Friday. I know it's Friday right now, but my sister's in town, so I
This is
got a
fun.
bonus. This is fun. Yeah, this is fun.
This is fun.
Um, but I would say that is something that I really had to work on because again, like in the scarcity mindset of they won't want to work with me if I can't accommodate them. That's a scarcity mindset, right?
Correct. Yes.
But really, I'm just like, nope, this is when I can meet. This is my availability. I don't think I've lost anybody.
No.
And so it really is just like telling people what you need. So that's my boundary story. What about you?
Mine, so I love that. So I'll piggyback off that and then I'll share my story. So, one of the things that we always teach new coaches that come and work with us is time blocking your day,
Mhm,
for
mhm.
your coaching calls back to back. And so, mine, the last 10 years, I do, I only coach the first and the third weeks of the month.
Right,
And everybody gets their own time slot every two
right.
weeks, every first and third week of the month. And they know, Lynn is Tuesdays at 12 on the first and third Tuesday of the month, right? And everybody gets their calendar invite.
Right,
And so when I get a new coaching client, I'm like, okay, here's my
right,
availability. The first and third, what's going to work
right.
best? And I have nobody ever in 14 years, probably 400 plus clients, never had anybody balk
Mhm.
at, you know, when they can meet,
Right, but
right? So,
you can feel like putting that boundary up. What if they don't make it?
yeah,
I bet you still kind of feel that way. Oh,
no,
good.
because like in our very first coaching call,
Uh-huh.
we always tell them if cancel your call within 24 hours of your call, that counts as a call.
Sure.
So we're teaching them
Mm,
expectations and we're creating boundaries for them and for us. But they've got to take ownership of that too. We can't, I mean,
totally.
I think this is a good example for life, right? Like both sides of the parties have to take responsibility. And how often do
Perfect.
people try to
Accountability,
take
baby. Yeah.
all the responsibility on? And then it causes stress and burnout and all these other things too. I think, okay, so I have a funny boundary story and I
Yeah.
love sharing this one because it's about my mom. I think I even shared it at that workshop when we were talking about time
Oh,
management.
the phone
So
calls, it was
mom,
so good. Yes, I love
the
it.
phone calls. I love my mama. Everybody, just so you know that my mom and I, like, we talk to each other almost every single day. And there was a point to where mom was calling me early in the mornings, 8:30. But for a coach, I start work right at 8 o'clock. Even now, after taking dad to school, we start work at eight
Mhm.
o'clock. The first phone call, the first coach call, whatever, maybe it starts at 8 o'clock typically. And I remember early in my career, maybe like after the first couple months I started back in 2013, I told my mom, Mom, I love you,
Yep,
but unless somebody's in the
right.
hospital, somebody is bleeding,
Yep,
there it is worst case scenario,
sure.
you can't call me between 8 and
No,
5. And she's like, What? I
right.
was like, I'm focused. I'm laser beam
Yep,
focused. She's like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that. Sorry, honey." So she would call me on her way to work
yep.
around 7:30. So in the mornings at 7:30, her and I would chat
Yeah.
for a few minutes, or she would call me after work on her way
Okay, but I
home.
love that. You're saying you can call me at 7:30. Call me at 7:30, right? Your boundaries also saying where they can interact with you,
Yeah.
where I am going to be fully present for this phone call is at this time. And that's awesome.
Yes.
Like I can commit to that.
Right.
Yeah.
And and I know I could give my mom 100% attention
Yeah.
because when she would call me like at 8 o'clock, 8:30, I couldn't give her my undivided
Right.
attention. And that's just
That's
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
That's just wrong.
I agree.
So that's my fun little boundary story I always share with like my coaching clients and stuff.
Yeah. That's good.
Dad knows that if like my door is shut, that means mama's
Yep.
working. So he knows not to come across
Good.
and walk in the door because if my door's open, he's
That's
fine. If
awesome.
I'm just working on my, non-income producing stuff,
Sure.
he can walk in and give mama hugs and stuff. But if the door's closed, it's probably because I'm on a coaching call or talking with a
Right.
client or potential new client.
So
That's it.
if
Yeah.
somebody was in a scarcity mindset, right? And let's describe what that is
Mhm.
because I feel like we have to lay it out because I'm making the assumption that people know what that is.
Mm,
And what that is like, right, you see someone across the room who does the same thing as you, and you kind of like freeze up or instantly think like the comparison starts, right? Or you're looking at their
yeah.
success and being like, they're not even good at that. I'd be so much better. Or how come I didn't get chosen? Anything else to add about that?
Yeah. So I always look at scarcity mindset as a belief system that is rooted in the idea
Totally.
that there's not enough
Not enough.
time,
Yeah.
not enough money, success, opportunities, or recognition
Hmm.
to go
Hmm.
around. And y'all, that's wrong. Even as coaches, there are billions of people in the world. Even
Literally.
though coaching has taken off and everybody wants to be a coach right now, there is enough people in this world who need a coach with us having to have this scarcity mindset.
Right.
So I always say that, people operating from a scarcity mindset often think in terms of limitation
Hmm.
and competition,
Hmm. Hmm. Right.
right? And that creates fear, stress, comparison. At Southwestern, we always say comparison is the thief of joy because it really
Totally
is.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally is. That to me is scarcity.
So, if you are somebody who feels what we just described in any capacity, what would you say is like the first step to recovery?
Okay, so I would have coaching clients that would say a beer or a bourbon, but that's not the case. That's not first step, y'all. I would say it's a abundance mindset shift.
Hmm.
So to me, it's think of one thing, one area where there's a new opportunity
Hmm.
or a new possibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that's the small step,
Yeah. The low hanging fruit. Yeah.
the low hanging
Yeah.
fruit. Absolutely.
Mine's similar. I would be really similar. It's almost like fake it till you make it kind of thing. And like,
Yeah.
even if that means like celebrating them on social media or like resharing their content or following them, like just cracking open the door to extend the branch. Next month in December, my co coach and I, his name's Michael, are hosting a webinar and I posted about it. And the first two people to share and comment were coaches, are coaches that they coach totally different things. But I think because
Yeah.
I've opened the door for abundance mindset. Thank you, Billy and Jen. They shared it. I've opened that and I show that. I show up. They're like, I want to do that for Amanda too. And it's just like,
Right.
yeah. So I do think like even if in person it's really hard for you because you have that fear, start socially. I think that's a good like starting point, if that makes sense. If it's like
Yeah.
wishing them a happy birthday or celebrating a
Yeah.
success, because I
Yeah.
do think that we, again, women with this like competition, like we're so afraid that if I drop my guard, I'm vulnerable. So I think taking that first step, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
is a good way.
I think there's a couple other things that I'm thinking of too. um, ICF certification, they
Mhm.
kind of tell you, name it when it shows
Oh
up.
yeah.
So for scarcity, if it shows up, it may show up as comparison
Mm,
or
mm,
jealousy, fear of FOMO, fear of missing
yeah.
out, feeling behind, feeling threatened. So if you if you see it, name
Yeah.
it, and then you have to interrupt it,
Mm,
right? Because otherwise,
I like
we
that.
always say Mr. Mediocrity is always sitting on our shoulders. So let's knock him down and take those rationalizations out and take out those self-limiting beliefs, right? And
Yeah.
interrupt it with, you know what, this thought it's coming out of fear, not out of truth.
Yeah.
Think of things like that. This is scarcity talking. It's not reality. This is not what, because you have to also reframe somebody else's success. So
Hmm.
reframe someone else's
Hmm.
success. Man, say that 10 times
Hmm.
fast. That's a good one. So a lot of people like, she's ahead of me, especially if you're in
Mm,
sales. Man, salespeople get this all the time. Like, oh my goodness, how am I going to beat her this month? Or
sure.
how am I going to win, President's Club? Or what are they doing that I'm not doing? Instead of thinking those things, think of it like, hey, they're showing me what's possible.
Right.
They can do it. I can do it.
Right.
Sometimes we just got to go to work and just figure out and just go do it. Like
Right.
you said, fake it till we make
Right.
it. Just go do it. Sometimes that scarcity, it just creates quicksand around us
Oh,
and we just stay stuck.
yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel that way. Right. I love that mindset shift. I just want to highlight that you just said. she's doing it so I can do it is a way better mindset of like, not she's doing it so I can't do it. Right. Like, I absolutely agree. I would rather surround myself with coaches who are making a ton of money rather than coaches that aren't because I feel better than the people who aren't. That's gross. Right. So, no, I want to surround myself with mentors and coaches that are absolutely crushing it because I'm like, I want to crush it. Right. And then
Mhm.
that's the shift right there. If she can't, like, it's almost like, if she can, why can't I? And that's absolutely so, so smart.
Um, I know as a company, we have coached a lot of other
Yeah.
coaches to help them grow. And those who don't seek mentorships or other
Mm,
coaches, like even I don't care who you are, if you're in business leaders,
yep,
y'all, everybody needs a mentor
yep,
or a coach. I'm just not saying this because y'all need to hire Amanda and I.
no,
I just truly believe that you need someone outside your comfort
yep,
zone, outside your box to give that outside
yep,
perspective. There's a lot of companies who do a lot of great inside sales training, and a lot of leaders think I'm their, I should be their coach. But everybody needs that outside perspective.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
That outside accountability, it's completely different than what inside accountability looks like.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I see it all the time.
I also, as a trainer that goes into businesses, I like to be the one to say the thing. Like, I am so happy to say the thing. I'm happy to be the person that like breaks the news or changes disruption or the disruptor, changes the conversation. I'm happy to do that, right? Because I think that like hearing it from it's like the same thing as like if you heard it from your mom, you were gonna ignore it. But if you heard it from like somebody else, you would listen to it. And so I love going in and saying the thing, whether that's like, we need to change the way we communicate, or we need to show up better, or we need to be
Yeah.
more accountable, and I love coming in and saying the thing and like helping people have a really like safe space to say the thing without feeling like
Mhm.
any sort of like retribution or, you know what I'm saying? I love that about my job.
It's part of the fun thing about what
It's
we
so
do.
fun. So fun.
And I think leaders love us because of it,
Hmm.
because I don't know how many leaders I've worked with over the years. They'll say, "We need a fresh
Yep.
perspective because I keep saying the same things over and over and nobody's listening." We come in and we say it, and it is like mind-blowing, like, "Oh my gosh, that was the greatest thing
Right.
ever." And the leaders are back going,
Right.
"I say this all the
Right.
time." But because I come in as the cool aunt.
Right. Exactly. I'm the fun one. I'm different. Exactly. I know.
That's right.
I know.
I
It's
know.
all packaging and messaging.
It's
It's
sales.
sales.
Every leader is selling a concept, an
You got it.
idea, an accountability structure, a system or process in their
You got
business.
it. Yeah, we've come full
Leaders do it
circle.
every day. All that it's fu- it we have come for a
Yeah,
circle. See, this is how good we are, Amanda. And we didn't even
didn't
plan it.
even plan it. I love it.
Didn't even plan it. So I always love to ask business owners, what was the biggest hurdle obstacle that you faced when you started your business? And how did you overcome that?
Yep. So, I would definitely say that it was just, like, the not knowing and also the fear of telling people I didn't know. Right? So, not knowing resources, not knowing who to ask, not knowing where to go, and then also having the scarcity mindset of, well, I'm a business owner, so I should know all these things already, right? And so, like, that combination, I feel like really did stop my growth for like quite a while. And now I'm like, the second I have like any sort of question, I'm like, who has an answer? And because like I just don't care because now I'm like way more mindful of like wasting time. Where in the beginning, I didn't value my time. It was like
Mm,
I'll work late and get up early and ignore everything else to like work on this thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would
yeah.
say, and it's definitely imposter syndrome or ego thing or whatever. But I would say those two things. So like not knowing and then also like not wanting anyone to know I didn't know was probably what I had to overcome. Was like super hard. So
Okay, coming full circle,
yeah.
there's that word fear,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Absolutely. Scarcity, fear. What if they don't think I'm smart? Like I would rather someone be like,
Oh my
she's
gosh.
ugly, she's fat, she's I don't know, insane. But if someone calls me dumb, I'm like, no, like I can't.
Exactly.
My intelligence is like my
Uh,
most important thing. So I don't want to look stupid. And that's really important to me. And so the unknowing right there is my biggest fear.
yeah. I don't know about you, but when I first started coaching, that very first coaching client, like the very first coaching call that you do or that
Yes.
very first training, man, my nerves was like all over the
Yeah.
place. Like, okay, do I know enough to do
Right.
this? Like, and yes, we do.
Yes.
We have it,
Okay, it's so
you
funny you
know?
say that. My first coaching client ever, and who's been with me for the 5.5 years I've been coaching, I have her in 11 minutes. Um, she's like the best. Shout out to Jen. Um, she's the best, and she's like my ride or die client. She's so awesome. So I'm so grateful for her, and she's been with me from like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing through like many system changes, many different ways of billing, many different ways of coaching. And she just has stuck with me. And so I'm so grateful for that for her, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, one last
Yeah.
question for you, my friend. If you had to boil it down, what are the top 3 pieces of advice
Mhm.
you would give anyone looking to either grow their business or their leadership skills?
Okay. So number one for sure is take the feedback, listen to the feedback, look for feedback. It's really scary. And it's not something I do naturally, but the more I learn and grow, the more I understand that feedback has to be a part of life. You're either learning or dying. That's it. So yeah, find the feedback. And if no one's giving it to you, ask for the feedback. Number one. Number two, I would definitely say it's okay to invest in yourself. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So figure it out. If like financially right now, investing in yourself sounds so impossible, you have to figure it out. Whether, and that investment can be time, that investment can be trading services, right? But if you think that you are going to get better with the current tools you have, it is going to be a slow and painful process, and it's going your confidence is going to be it's the cost. So figure out how to invest in yourself. Figure it out. Period.
Mhm.
I love spending money on my brain. Clearly, I love being smart, and so it is
Yep.
good debt. If you need debt, it is good debt. It is it is the way, it is the easy pass, right? Um, the third one is you will never convince 4 people to be more like you, right? Those 4 people, you will always be more like them. So make sure, in a room of 5 people, you want to be like the people that you're surrounding yourself with. So if you are surrounding yourself with people who don't have dreams, don't have ambitions, talk about people at tables, uh, complain all the time, guess what you are going to be? So
That's right.
claw out of that circle, fight for it. Find one
Mhm.
person, because if you find one person that you think you want to be more like, they know 4 other people, right? And so it goes. And so for me, and I know this might sound like really harsh, I don't have anybody in my life that does not behave in a way that I respect. I do not. It's a hard boundary for me. So, but I'm so in
I'm
love
right
with
there with
all of
you.
my friends, right?
I'm right there with you. I mean, that advice has been around since Dale Carnegie wrote From, Good to Great.
Mhm. Mhm.
That I mean, you are the 5 people you surround yourself the
Totally.
most. So, find the most amazing people, uplifting people, and don't share your goals, people, with people who are going to say, "You can't do that."
Totally.
Not share your goals with those kind of people, just don't.
Right. Or at
So,
least don't allow their feedback to come in. It's
that's
back
right.
to the man in the arena. It's like such a great quote, and like really only taking advice and perspective from people that are also in it with you. And I surround myself with females just like you, Becca, all the time. And it has
Yeah,
elevated me faster than anything else
yeah,
has.
yeah, I would totally agree.
Yay.
Amanda, I had so much fun. This was, like,
Always.
such great conversation. So Hopefully, everybody, you've gotten some amazing insights. But today, you guys, this wraps up another insightful, another fabulous episode of Talk with Coach. A huge thank you to Amanda Cox for sharing such valuable knowledge and lessons with us in her incredible journey. If this episode resonates with you, or if you have a burning question or topic you like for us to discover and cover in the future, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and Spotify or wherever you listen. Until next time, remember every step forward is part of your story. Keep striving for greatness and keep learning. And don't forget your journey is just beginning. Thank you guys and have a blessed day.